I actually think that COVID-19 could actually kill narcissism. I know. I said it. I really do believe it. I don't know if you know what narcissism is. It's really that pursuit of gratification from vanity or egotistical admiration of one's kind of self-image and attributes. Includes like self-flattery, perfectionism, and a bit of arrogance there. And it's been growing so much over the past few years, and you've got to think about it. Welcome to the Can Innovate podcast. We focus on providing you with timeless professional development secrets and essential business life skills in a mini bite-sized format. I'm unlocking the vault and sharing best practices that management consultants have been using for decades. We're unapologetically curious. Enjoy. Hey, innovators, it is so great to be back on the microphone. I know I haven't been kind of there these days. It's been kind of crazy at work and doing other stuff, but I wanted to actually talk about a couple of really cool topics, and I don't know, I'm just really kind of enjoying this COVID, staying at home a little bit and being a homebody, and kind of discovered a little few things. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of chat about how COVID-19, I think, is teaching the world a little bit about gratitude. As we all embrace and adjust to the new normal, the impact on humankind is and has been instrumental. I think the biggest thing that we've been just reminded is to stop and really be present. I was actually reading on Facebook, and this was back when it was like the 4th week into the lockdown. And this person talked about how, 3-4 weeks ago, how much he hated his job, how much, he really was too busy to see friends, and how he was really unhappy and so on. And he really goes on and on about the overwhelm at work, wanting to lose weight, canceling on friends, just stay at home and relax, always irritated with the traffic. He only talked to his mom once in a week. He was irritated with elevator wait times and so on. But his point was, 4 weeks later, he took everything he realized how much he took everything for granted. Today, he is so grateful that he has a job, and a job that is so busy. He really misses the human interaction. He actually misses getting in the car because he used to have downtime where he actually would spend time listening to podcasts and other things. He now calls his mom every day, and he's actually now afraid to take the elevator. And it's just an interesting thing about how 4 weeks, and now we're talking about 9-10 weeks itself, it's actually killed really and changed a lot of our own perceptions about things. So the things that we may have complained about, we may not be complaining about so much. It's kind of interesting and a little ironic, really, at the end of the day. But there is a lot of truth to it. 3, 4, 9, 10, 11 weeks ago, we complained about a lot of stuff. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually started to kind of put together not just a bucket list, it's kind of like a list of all the things I'm going to do after COVID-19's over and everything kind of resumes. And there's so many things I'm going to do. I mean, for me, first thing I'm going to do is go grab my nieces and nephew and hug them like there's no tomorrow. And my parents and my sisters and my brother-in-law, for sure. Everyone's getting a big hug from me. You have no idea how much I miss it. But we really have gained a different perspective, and we really are starting to relearn gratitude. So it got me thinking a little bit, because I know last year I posted that episode regarding gratitude, and because I didn't know what it really meant. And I actually think that COVID-19 could actually kill narcissism. I know. I said it. I really do believe it. I don't know if you know what narcissism is. It's really that pursuit of gratification from vanity or egotistical admiration of one's kind of self-image and attributes. Includes like self-flattery, perfectionism, and a bit of arrogance there. And it's been growing so much over the past few years, and you've got to think about it. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever fallen in love with a narcissist. You really, truly lose yourself in order to feed their ego and make them happy. And I think with all this thing that's been happening over the years, with the illusion of FOMO, the fear of missing out, narcissism has become a real big social, cultural problem for many years, and it's been growing exponentially. You see all your friends or people posting about how great they're doing, or they bought this new thing, or, it's just pictures of their amazing life, about how happy they are and how perfect they are. And they just really create this amazing illusion. So it's really got this whole thing, the world now has a common enemy. The COVID-19 virus. It's not our neighbors. It's not any of that. We all now have a shared vision and a mission to save lives and really to stay home and we save a life. And every one of us gets to be a hero by staying home. And it's got this whole feeling of purpose and perspective that we may not have realized that we were missing to begin with. I don't know if you guys remember Simon Sinek's book, and I'll put the link in the show notes and so on, about the start with the why, and which really goes back to us having a shared purpose, and this is why it's so incredible. And then I look around the world and I have been so inspired. And honestly, when I say inspired, some things of just human kindness has got me in tears. And I don't know about you guys, if you got an emotional roller coaster going on, but it really has, I just amazed about how many of these amazing, tremendous frontline workers I am so incredibly grateful for. And, and I'm not just talking about just the healthcare workers, which for sure they're brilliant. And you see these pictures of their masks and all the scars on their face. And, I'm just going to get teary-eyed just talking about it. But then you think about the people that are at the grocery stores. I am so grateful for them to be there, the drugstores and all those other places, the pharmacists. I think we forget that they're out there too, giving us those medicines. And, you just go on and on and on. And it's kind of like the food chain supply, the waste removal, all of those guys, everybody that's out there as a frontline worker doing this to support all of us that are able to work from home when they can't. And I just get so honestly touched, inspired, and I just want to give back. And, and it's just amazing to me. Oh, wow, I am getting choked up. The stories that I read every day shows how communities and nations are coming together to solve this epidemic crisis together. Like there's no shortage of stories, from neighbors singing for others to, out there on their balconies just to put some music out there and some joy and laughter. It's amazing. Or everyone standing out on the streets to clap at 7 a.m. for all those people going into work. Like, you just can't stop, feeling touched and inspired. And those that are helping the homeless and giving the food out there. The teenagers and neighbors that are actually sewing masks for all of those people that are the frontline workers is just amazing. I mean, some people have even created sewing clubs. There's even a website about how to adopt a lonely grandparent. And, you see distilleries that are repurposing their operations to make hand sanitizers and free grocery delivery for seniors. And, it's just, the list goes on and on and on. And I cannot help but being touched and inspired by all of those types of things. And anyways, one of the links I put in there in the show notes is about, there was about these 35 stories that they actually, released and so on. And it's just amazing of this feeling of, unity and purpose, and we've got a common focus, and we're cheering each other on, and we're so much more empathetic. So I just can't, believe that all of this is happening. So yes, I think COVID-19 is really going to kill narcissism, because I think we're a lot more empathetic. We're a lot more compassionate. We are illustrating more kindness for others and thinking about our neighbors and thinking that my neighbor could be my mom that might need help, or my sister, or whatever it is. And we're treating people so much differently than we ever did. We have more time to say thank you to people that we may never have thought about before. And it's just really different. So I've gained tons of different perspectives. I mean, for me personally, I'm a lot more focused and much more present. And I'm definitely putting a lot more health first. But I have been connecting with people instead of just sending WhatsApp. Like, I'm doing more video calls and connecting with humans more now than ever before. And I'm pretty excited about it. Because, even when I was writing the book, The Connect the Dots, I was talking about how the human interaction is really disappearing, and I was really worried about that. But now I'm doing that a lot more. And in fact, there's so much more technology, and my parents have become adopters and champions of things that I never thought they would ever be adopters of. I am now spending more time than, I'm taking pride. There's a newfound pride. I clean my house daily. I really am taking that time. I'm so grateful that there are groceries available, that I actually spend more time on food prep and cooking with more purpose. not because I just want to stay healthy, but because I'm so grateful that there was somebody that was doing that for me and getting the food ready for us, and, in the grocery stores and that whole supply chain that's out there that's making it possible for us to eat. I'm definitely not wasting food. I only purchase the things that I'm actually going to use for that week. I actually make more meal plans to make sure I am not overbuying something. So because if I overbuy something, that means there's someone that can go without, and I don't want to do that. I also grocery shop for a couple of other people. So when I go to the grocery store, they don't have to go, and I deliver it to their porches. That's how I'm getting a bit of sense of purpose and pride to kind of protect others. And it feels so good that I'm able to contribute somehow. As a society, I think we are going to gain, as I said, we're gaining more perspective. We're resetting our priorities. I talk about, quite a bit, some of my coworkers, they have kids at home. And I said, you know what, if you need to take 20 minutes to play with your kids, take the 20 minutes to play with your kids. Lunch, none of us, have meetings during lunch anymore because, 12 to 1 is when we get to sit down and have lunch with our families and connect with them on a day. I am so grateful. And I think as a society, we're much more grateful for the smaller and simpler pleasures. I keep laughing about the baking shortage because that I would never thought. And I'm seeing people making fresh bread more often, and they're just taking pride of all these things that we took for granted. Strengthening relationships digitally. It's no longer just, but hey, what's up? Thinking of you. We're actually thinking about them, and we call them, and we're scheduling those dates and happy hours and, just group chats around the world and reconnecting with friends from different places. We're getting a stronger sense of community and neighbors. It's not about, me, I need to do this for just my family. I'm thinking about people around me who else can also benefit, who else might need something. We're listening with intent. Oh, gosh, I am listening with more intent and more heart and everything else. We are deepening in our listening skills and deepening our understanding skills. And it's just really wonderful. As a society, we've started to become more resourceful and less wasteful. Kindness and compassion is so evident around me. It's just so hard not to be inspired by these stories. And putting our health and well-being first so that we always protect others, that we're not doing the selfish thing like, who cares? It's COVID-19 is being blown out of proportion. No, we're thinking about now differently, or I'm hoping more and more people continue to think differently, that every time I stay home, I save a life. That way it's one less person that's going into the hospital that needs to go there. And we're constantly thinking about that risk mitigation. And what the opposite of narcissism is exactly that. The empathy, compassion for others, humble, modesty, treating others the way they want to be treated. And there's been no shortage of kindness out there. This is the time where good is going to trump over the bad and really, really triumph over the bad, where we all send prayers to people that are our loved ones, our strangers, our acquaintances, our loved one, anyone we can think of, we're doing it. So yes, I definitely believe that COVID-19 will definitely kill narcissism and reset society. And I think the society transition has already begun. I mean, have you noticed that our society, we've all changed how we end our conversation from bye, see you later, to stay healthy and safe? And how is your family doing? And we are doing things a lot more different. So anyways, I am sending you all lots of love. And I really hope everyone stays indoors and safe. And I can't wait to talk to you about the next episode because it's a doozy, that's for sure. But anyways, and the other little thing I decided to do was I actually created an actual little gratitude journal for you to remember and maybe document some of these small things. So when we do come out of the COVID situation, we don't forget those small little things. It makes a big difference. And I can't wait. So I put the link in there. So all you gotta do is click, it's all yours. And if you want to know more about gratitude, when I did that, I've linked the other episode before as well. And that's when I really got to mean the true meaning of gratitude. And just to let you know, that episode, you might get a little emotional, but anyways, I just hope you all stay safe, be grateful every day, because every day really is a gift. And we are going to continue to evolve as humans everywhere and eventually kill narcissism. Have a great one. Thank you so much for joining and listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed this episode or any other episode, please share with your friends and colleagues. You can share on social media, the email link, the newsletter, and so on. Let's continue to support these Canadian innovators and help them really grow into bigger brands. Awareness and knowledge is totally key. Anyways, I can't wait to talk to you next week. Cheers.